Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and let's get into this with a meta quote from The Walking Dead.
Don't worry. I ain't gonna lick you.
I got a chuckle out of that because in the season 11 finale, which we're going to talk about in this review, Norman Reedus, for whatever reason, had an issue licking people. I mean, I don't personally care if people want to get licked in the face. I think AMC asked him to stop, though. I forget what it was, but there was something along the lines of, was it an insurance thing? Like he might get sick. It was something where you read it and you were like, oh, you would think people would get offended. But anyway, it's like a little meta joke because the guy, Pope, was like, I don't know if you're going to bite me or lick me. Meta joke, I got a chuckle out of it. Anyhow, so the finale kicks off. Now, to sum it up before we get into it, obviously there's going to be spoilers because we're going to discuss what actually happens. So if I post this video early, you're going to have to just come back after you watch it when it airs. But for those who have already seen it on AMC+, we're going to play a couple clips. Now that I think about it, I'll keep the clips really short because obviously this is going up a little early, so some people haven't seen it yet. Now, the cliffhanger from episode 7 was a bit annoying because this is something that The Walking Dead has done consistently for a few seasons now, where they do, all cliffhangers aren't created equal. You can have great cliffhangers and then you can have frustrating and annoying cliffhangers. One of the most iconic, worst cliffhangers possible in The Walking Dead is the Negan Cliffhanger, season 6. And that's because it builds the momentum to a place you can never recapture. And instead of just continuing with the story, they do a strictly a gimmick cliffhanger just to get people to view in the following season. And I tell you what, it did work. However, immediately after that, the ratings plummeted and they've never recovered since. So was it really worth it? In the short term, it seems worth it. But it doesn't seem like they've learned. They've continued this strategy of dragging out the storyline, adding a lot of filler, a lot of stuff that you really don't, when it's all said and done, you really don't see the substance in it. And then they do this cliffhanger like episode 7 was, we're going to war with the Reapers. This is about to happen. We're about to get in the shit. Just kidding. It's a cliffhanger. You have to come back and watch it. And the second flaw to that, it's usually a two-part flaw. The cliffhanger in the initial episode, and I do believe this is one of the biggest flaws in episode 8. And the second part of the flaw is when they come back from those cliffhangers, it's usually not even connected to the cliffhanger in a way that is seamless. Like, for example, the No Way Out cliffhanger, where the little kid is crying for his mommy. They totally skipped that when they returned for episode 9, and they continued with the story as it should have been, and just pretended like, oh, the kid got himself under control, and there's no threat whatsoever. When the end of that episode actually had a very amplified threat, put it that way. They're surrounded by zombies inches apart from their face, and this kid won't shut up crying for his mommy. They're in immediate danger. No, they're not, because when we come back, it's done. That's the same thing we got going on here, and I will say, since we're diving in with a review, I'm going to discuss more on my opinion for The Walking Dead in this episode, finally breaking me. And I'll do it in a separate video. Hopefully I'll get that posted tomorrow about a change in how I view The Walking Dead. I'm not doing it episode to episode anymore. They finally broke me. I officially retire. I am done. As a Walking Dead YouTube channel, I know a lot of people primarily know this channel from The Walking Dead. I'm tapping out officially. I'll explain it in greater detail. I'm not, I'm not going to not watch the show. I'm going to check in on it, but I can't do this one episode at a time where they drag it out. I'm going to watch it in chunks, and I'll likely review it in chunks as well. I'll give you the details in a separate video coming up next, but with this episode, we'll get to the cliffhanger when we get to that, but this previous spillover from episode 7 picks up where it's just kind of chill. The zombies are coming for them, and everything looks the same. That's another flaw with this episode, where it looks like the same buildings we've been seeing all over the place. throughout multiple seasons, and half of the episode, if not more than half, when they're fighting the Meridian, it looks like they're fighting themselves at Alexandria. That's how samey it is. It looks like they're just reusing their own sets in a way that for a minute there, I literally just felt like they were attacking Alexandria again. Even this outside here. If you told me that The Walking Dead cheated and used a section of the Alexandria set, I would believe you. That's how similar it looks. Maybe not some of these bigger industrial-looking buildings, but some of it just has that look. The intro here, though, I think that is going to be the highlight moment. You know what? Yeah, this is kind of long, man. I don't care. I'm running with it. It's the finale. We're going to discuss it. The intro is the highlight moment. I love the intro so much. It reminded me of the Jesus death and the introduction of the Whispers. And I love that it's the heroes that are doing it. Because it's so dark to where the heroes are utilizing their former enemy strategy. And it's not a strategy that you would recognize as a hero to be using. And they use it without mercy. And I friggin' love it. I don't think I took a clip of it here, but Daryl lies. They send out one of their men, or Pope sends him out, thinking maybe his enemy is out there, which is Maggie. AMC Plus's app for me is trash. I don't know if you guys have problems with it, but for me, it's all over the place. If you let it play, you're good. It'll buffer every now and then, but if you ever try to skip stuff, it just does this nonsense. I don't even know if it'll play. I took some extra clips just in case it won't. But you guys, if you watched it, they lure out one of the Reapers. He's trying to lure the herd away. And then just like when Jesus was killed off, he goes to stab a walker, and the walker ducks him and stabs him in the gut. And then I think it was Maggie and Negan, and then Maggie stabbed him in the back. I mean, shit was fire. And then the walkers ate him up. That introduction I loved, absolutely loved it. From there, I don't think this is going to work, so we might just move over to some clips I got. From there, we move into the storm at Alexandria. I'm only going to cover it once or twice, but the storm at Alexandria, in my opinion, was just poorly done, mainly because it's the same way they film all the natural disaster stuff in The Walking Dead. Because the budget is so slim, we get peaks of the storm with some other stuff, where the storm should be like the highlight of it. But it's just some rain machines, and it looks like, oh, some wind, and water flooding in through some windows in like the basement. And it's like, okay, there's your storm. It's something I've wanted, and I've talked about this as well. Yeah, that's not loading up. And another part of me has me thinking, because it's the final season, is it really now the time to get the storm in there? Here's this part. Yeah, he's luring them away.
What kind of situation?
Yeah, okay, I'm going to play this clip. This is badass. Wait. I thought it was quicker than that. If I let it play more than 4 or 5 seconds, the video gets taken down. Come on. Yeah. Oh, that is Negan, and this is Maggie right here. Oof. See, again, those are our heroes, and that's a dark way to take out a villain. And again, he's a villain, so it doesn't matter, but it's just a dark way to do it. I love this intro. Friggin' love it, because again, it all that I talked about, but it also harkens back, but utilizes that same essence of the Whispers without keeping them still alive in the story. I don't know if it's something they would ever keep them around doing. You know, because they're ending, so I can't really see that incorporated in the Commonwealth story arc. Commonwealth storyline, but the explosions at the gates when they're bringing the walkers in was another thing that I thought was cool. I'm surprised we don't see our characters expecting some type of defense when they're going to attack Alexandria too. Now, the Pope versus Leah was too predictable in my book. His religious insanity is very cartoony, and most importantly, it's not interesting. And I'll breeze through this quick because until they stop doing it, I'm going to point it out. Let's be real and honest. Mostly, and we'll keep labels off of it, but mostly the creative team are a certain type of individual. They align themselves with certain groups, and those groups hate Christians, and they always put in these like flimsy, and again, this isn't like, I'm not standing up for religion. I'm not religious myself. I'm just saying we all suffer because they have this weird, obsessive, they got to make these religious bad guys, and they make them so flimsy, ridiculous, and cartoony, and it's so stupid and ridiculous, and I'm convinced that's why they do it. They're kind of like, yeah, these evil people that we hate in real life, we're going to pop them in there, and it's just not interesting or fun. You want to see a show that actually did it and did it well with a religious villain that was actually badass, and not even badass in a good way. You wanted that bitch to die, Midnight Mass on Netflix. Go and watch that. We'll talk about that another day. I will recommend that. I do have some issues with it, but I think if you go in blind, you'll have a lot more fun with it. And you got to stick with it, though, because it's a real slow burn for an episode or two. So anyway, yeah, until they stop that, and again, we all suffer because it's just not interesting. We have them holding the door with the storm. I think it's this clip. They're holding the door here. Rosita comes out to fight. They're holding the door, and Rosita runs out to fight. Two things real quick. One, Rosita, when they put these characters in, where's the other characters? Where's any of the other characters? In Alexandria, it feels so slimmed down. Maybe I missed it. Maybe they're hiding somewhere else. I know there's other characters off doing something else, but where's the rest of the civilians, the people living there? Whatever. Rosita's a character that she's got a weapon. That's fine. They give her this really stupid claw I made fun of in the past. It's got like 3-inch spikes, and we're supposed to believe that does effective damage, punching through the skull and getting into the brain. I find that ridiculous. But this is a character who's a tiny female, and she's just she's given the strength of a mutant almost. Here, it's fine. She's got like this badass bat weapon. She's smacking around zombies. That's fine. The scene in my book, and I'll give this a pass, it was just filmed weird. Like they were going for something, and then Rosita comes in, and I'm expecting her to, the way she was standing even, maybe I got it in this clip. She's out there. Oh yeah, and she thumps on the door, and they're all like, what? She does like this What? We just send one of our people out there to kill some zombies? What? What's this bitch doing? Does this bitch not know how to fight? What? Do you guys not know what a knock sounds like? Someone's knocking at the door. And why is she knocking like this is a hectic, duh. Is it Negan? Somebody quick, Negan came back for us. He killed everyone on the road. He's coming back for us. What are you people doing? Anyhow, so they let her in this really awkward... I got it afterwards. I expected her, look at her, she's like, oh my God. I expected her to come in and there was going to be this big reveal. Like, oh, it was a storm. Dun dun, there's something else, going on. No, it was, and again, I got this after. This was just supposed to be like a badass moment. So that went over my head. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I was just viewing it with different eyes or something. I didn't mind the line, though. She's like, let's stay at it. Let's stay away from the windows.
Let's stay away from the windows.
Let's try that. But you guys, did anyone else feel a vibe of you're expecting something to like, some type of reveal in that moment? I just thought it was all weirdly shot. The last thing I'll say about the storm is the writers, in my opinion, I don't feel like they're writing characters that are living organically in this world, which is the more interesting choice. As a fan, I'll argue that is always the more interesting choice. It's really interesting when you're getting introduced to these characters for new seasons with a little bit of a time jump, and you're like, oh, they put spikes in front of the prison, and they got this little pulley system. That's a small thing, and then you see clever ways that they come up with how to survive. survive in this apocalypse. They know the walls are going down. They know that they're going to have to bunker in like a bunker that we do in real life. We do this shit in real life without zombies. Yet these characters that are supposed to be not brain dead, they don't create some system to reinforce a fucking door. Like, of all things, when they're sitting there and the door finally breaks, in my mind, I'm thinking, is nobody in the writer's room sitting around going, hey guys, so they've been living in this world for a decade now? Like, we're talking, there's no internet, there's no well, maybe they can get like TVs working, but I mean, when they get up and they live their life, they're living life, man. They're growing their food. They're putting in work. So they'd be reinforcing shit. Not only that, someone in that community has to think of, and it's not a genius idea. It's got to be one of the most common brain, like one of the most lightning bolt things to think of is, if we ever get overrun for whatever reason, we need somewhere to hide out. We need a reinforced area, stash in some food, let them pass. They'll eventually scatter. Maybe even we can have some type of system where we can get out in a different way. And that's worst case scenario if the horde is, I mean, they've had different things to sneak out of Hilltop, little small things. But again, these are people living these lives day in and day out. They didn't even devise a way to reinforce a fucking door. And again, you can argue, Ronnie, it's in their community. Why would they do that when they have walls? Well, very simple. First off, it should be a precaution. And second off, the exterior walls, they've been going on and on and on this whole season about them being damaged and they're falling down. They've showed us that. So why isn't there some type of bunker? I'm going to shut up about it. That moment left me seriously disinterested in whatever is going on in Alexandria. I give it to Judith. It's nice seeing more of Judith and what she's going through with people missing. Since they're missing, though, it kind of does take away from the whole vibe of the story because it's in a ridiculous sense. And I just don't care about what's going on in Alexandria. Moving on, though. Let's go to, there was one little line, again, utilizing characters like Daryl Dixon. Oh, I missed it here where...
Quit these once, so I have to quit them again. Wow.
Yeah, it's like the basic thing. You know, there's a danger around every corner. Why would you need to quit smoking cigarettes? You're afraid of cancer now? I mean, I'm about to kill you in 10 seconds, and you're worried about cancer killing you in 10 years? Listen, in that type of situation, so it's like a funny little back and forth, but also, I'm getting a vibe of, this is kind of intense. What does steal away some of that energy when you're watching it is knowing he has his own spin-off coming. Daryl's going to be fine. And don't give me this whole Leah's interesting shit either when it comes to the tension, because newsflash, unless the spin-off is going to include a threesome with Carol, Leah, and friggin' Daryl, then we all know it's coming. Whatever's going down between him and Leah is going to be the catalyst to make him decide to leave and enter the spin-off story. You can see it coming a million miles away, or it's a useless storyline that just distracts us from nothing. Think about it. If she just dies in the next episode, what did we get out of this? They were grocery shopping in the zombie apocalypse. That's the extent of it. But anyhow, so there's that bit of a tension, and I can feel it, but it's also in the back of my mind. It just creeps up in your subconscious and steals the moment away. But if you did find this edge of your seat type of, is he going to get caught? Will he, won't he? I could see what you're saying, but yeah. Anyway, I already talked about why it looks like Alexandria. The Pope, the bullshit here, You don't question the Lord. You don't question me. You don't question me. I already went over that a bit with why they make villains like this, and that's only what I personally believe. I don't have evidence of that. But I can't understand anyone thinking, let's make a villain, this will be so interesting, where he's just like insanely religious. The Lord speaks through me. Not fun. Not interesting. And then we have something coming that we should have seen a million miles away. We knew Leah was going to turn on Pope. That we knew was coming without a doubt, just by the way they were setting it up. And I feel like they shot himself in the foot with the twist immediately after, because Leah does this thing with Pope, and it's supposed to be like a moment. But there's two things that goes wrong immediately after this. Three, if you count, that's a whack-ass way for Pope to die. Pope is like the ultimate villain right now, and he dies in like the laziest way possible. And that reveals the real villain is Leah, which is the twist. But again, it's not as interesting because you had your sights set on Pope, and now you get the twist, but also that letdown, disappointment. The thing immediately what happens next is Leah's focus is going to shift to her family. She makes that abundantly clear. She's like, Daryl, I'm going to say you killed him and blah, blah, blah. And I'm protecting my family. Same thing you would have done to protect your family, whatever nonsense she talks about. However, immediately after killing Pope, she knows damn well one of her family members is right there, witnessed it. One of her family members could either let her go. Why'd you do that? Because her family member was hesitant. You want us? And that's another trope that's get out of here with this nonsense. What serious writer sits down in 2021 and says, I know, let's have the bad guy, the religious bad guy that's losing it. Let's have him go to kill his own people and show like he's really gone. Like he's totally lost it and gone. And then Leah has to be like protecting her family and she takes him out. Oh, again, some of these ideas, I don't know how they even make it. They are some of the worst tropes in TV and movie writing for decades now. I'm not even talking recent tropes. These are older than I am. Now, and that's pretty old. Now, she's all about family. She knows her family member has two choices. Let her go or kill her. And Daryl, I don't believe he's immediately. I didn't buy that at all. Daryl does this. And it looks like he was doing like a, oh my God. I don't see him pulling a weapon. I don't see him. And Daryl's pretty dark at this moment. But Daryl recognizes that connection with Leah and her family. And I don't see him doing this. I see him being like, move you die, But he does this. And Leah doesn't even seem to react. Doesn't even seem to faze her. So in the moment, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe she doesn't care. Because my brain immediately was like, Daryl, why would you do that? That's her people. She just cried and bitched and moaned for 5 episodes in a row now, driving us nuts about how much she cares about her people while watching her leader kill her own people. So it doesn't seem to faze her. In a few seconds, it will. In a few seconds, she's like, look, dun, dun, dun. This is pretty cringy in my book. People. People. That's what's important. My people. Oh my God. Cringe meter has broken.
You'd do anything to protect your family.
Yeah, I'm not listening to that fucking shit again. All right, so the reveal. She's the ultimate villain, and Daryl's got to go walk away. And she tells her people to get the gates closed. They just drove a pickup truck through the gates. Within 10 seconds on screen, the gates are somehow closed. The Reapers all have retreated, and our characters are standing out in the open. Let me see if we have an image of the characters standing out in the open. Sure we do. Oh, I cut it off? Well, no. Tell me I didn't cut it off. I know I recorded this ridiculous shit. Tell me I recorded this. They're all standing out in the open. She's got her big fireworks display. It's all ready to go. It's like, yo, it's the 4th of July out this bitch. And then we get to the moment that broke me that was compounded by all the other stuff that's been bothering me as a big day one fan for over 10 years now. Again, I would say the end of season 6 on, from, let's say season 7, episode 1 on, it's been the biggest of the biggest problems from that moment on. Even some of the stuff that gets criticized in the first 6 seasons, there's also some stuff there that I felt had life still. It was still a swinging from, oof, that's a real miss to this is a hit. Modern day Walking Dead is more like either it's okay or it's a total miss, with the rare occurrence of it being like, oh, that's fire, Anyhow, so she gets her fireworks display going. They're patriotic, don't forget. I mean, and then our heroes are just standing out in the open. I'm assuming those are walkers in the background, so our heroes are just like, what's that big bomb-looking machine? Negan's like, I don't know, man. I'm not, like, very perceptive and, quick-witted and yada, yada, yada. And look at Maggie. She's like, oh, we're fucked. So keep standing there staring. But we know why they're standing there staring. Because it's just for effect. They're still staring. When you see this is what they're staring at. When you see this, you just raided this enemy compound, and you see this wicked bitch over here, and this thing lighting up the sky. Do you instantly take cover, get the fuck out of there, or do you just kind of chill? Now, again, they have to chill because it's the cliffhanger. They need that visual. And we get... maybe that is why it triggers so much. Just like the season 6 cliffhanger where the bat comes down and then it cuts to black. They have these bottle rockets with bombs or some shit. And they shoot them into the camera and they cut to black. They've been dragging for 8 friggin' hours. 8 hours. I don't want to hear none of this nonsense about people not understanding. If you love it all you want. But don't you dare come at me with this whole you don't understand why people don't like it shit. In 8 hours of TV, in 8 friggin' hours, they have an unsuccessful grocery shopping trip in the zombie apocalypse. They have Alexandria dealing with horses and bad weather. And then they have the Commonwealth slowly being introduced to this new community. And we're finally starting to get something only in the last like 3 hours of that 8 hours. So miss me with that bullshit about being confused or perplexed while some fans are like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I can't do this anymore. And I think that's why a lot of us are so mixed with it. It's a show that I love and I want to finish it out. But I just can't do it. I can't make excuses for it anymore. And it's not dog shit. If it was total dog shit, I'd been like, yeah, it is. Wow, I don't know what happened. It's just like, okay. So in that instance, it makes it where it's not priority. I'm not rushing to watch it day one. I'm not going to do that for the next group of 8 episodes. I'm not going to rush to watch them day one. The cliffhangers also, to touch base with that, these are ones that are poorly done, not like the cliffhangers with substance are ones where you're fulfilled. It's exciting. It makes you eager to see what comes next, but you don't feel like you just drug it out. You built the momentum. Something's finally going to happen. And then it's like, momentum's done, cut to black, come back next week, sucker, That's what they do in The Walking Dead, where it's like, okay, we're at the end, quick, throw our characters in front of a moving train, and, that's the equivalent of the type of writing we have here, where it's not like a finely crafted story that blends into a cliffhanger that leaves you fulfilled but also excited and dying to see what comes next. It's literally just like last minute, you know, hammer coming down on someone's face. Oh, black it out. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's going to happen right there? Well, you know, and the worst part, and I'll explain the second part to that equation. If this happens, I will feel absolutely vindicated. If episode 9 starts and there's any time skip at all, and I'm talking a minute, a day, if there's any time skip and we see the next day, which is probably one of the worst, or later that day, it's daytime now, and our characters are like licking their wounds in the woods, and they're looking at the Reaper's compound, and they got to raid it again, or some stupid shit like that. Or if they're, if we get an aftermath of the explosions from the fireworks show, and then we see our characters kind of wounded, maybe some has shrapnel, and they're just hiding in little nooks and crannies in the Meridian City, I will feel vindicated for totally shitting on the cliffhanger. I don't personally believe, I could be totally wrong. I'll be happy if I'm wrong, but I don't believe episode 9 is going to pick up where they left off, and we're going to see something epic and cool. It might even be like a scene or a moment, like a flash or something. Maybe they'll give us that, but I don't think we're going to get anything epic, because they do this all the time where they build up the story, they cut it short, they do some superficial, oh no, someone's in danger, whoo, and it's not really, it doesn't really amount to anything of substance. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the review of season 8. Fuck it, 30 minutes of tearing into it. I don't even know. I like longer videos, so I wouldn't really mind, but you guys got 30 minutes of a review. I do want to do a video for tomorrow talking about more details, because it'll be another 5-10 minutes discussing what I'm thinking about as for the plan, and more reasons why, because I do have a bigger reason why. Or not, I shouldn't say a bigger reason why. I have something that's pretty compelling that helped me go, oh, you know what? It's okay to just do Walking Dead in chunks to finish it out. Like, say, even if it's just do 4 episodes and then 4 episodes. So then we do, you know, half the season, and you're doing it in decent chunks of story instead of what we got going on now. But I'll do that video tomorrow for anyone who's interested in checking that out. Keep an eye out for that, either tomorrow or the day after. But leave your thoughts and opinions about the review, and I'm hoping some of you realized by now, if you didn't watch the episode, I meant for you to, I'm pretty sure I said this though, go watch the episode, or wait. This video is always going to be on YouTube for you to see it when it airs, and then come back and watch it. You don't have to watch it just because it's posted. But AMC Plus just kind of screwed the game up. Half of the audience is watching it early, and then by the time the rest of everyone watches it when it airs, half the audience is sick of talking about the episode, and the other half, you know what I mean? It's all over the place. Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment box. I'm going to put the poll down below in the comment box and in the video description. Vote on this episode, and I'll see you back here for the follow-up video for what's coming up next for the Walking Dead content on the channel. Goodbye. Stay safe. Watch out for those fireworks.